You're listening to the Live Free podcast. I'm your host, Christine, certified life coach, pain to power mentor, and creator of Embody You Mindset Mastery School. I'm here today to discuss living life after disease, disaster, or adversity, to discuss living life fully once again, a life of hope, peace, and resiliency, a life fully embodied. I utilize the lessons that I learned going through not one, but two primary cancers. I'm here today to guide you to the life of your dreams, turn your pain into power, and lead you back to yourself. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Live Free podcast. Today, I want to talk about manifestation. Everybody loves this term. It's a big deal. We all want it. And when we think of manifestation, we think of money. And manifestation is so much more than that. It can be manifesting the love of your life. It could be manifesting boundaries with your spouse. It could be manifesting money. It could be manifesting experiences and enjoyments. There's all kinds of things. But when we think of manifesting, we think of bringing something into our life that we want. And understand that manifesting can also be bringing things into your life that you don't want. It can be manifesting the coworker that always drives you crazy. It can be manifesting the improper relationship where neither of you trust each other. There's all kinds of things that we can manifest. And those manifestations are brought on by our mindset and what's going on in the deep-seated part of our brain. So how do we move away from manifesting the things we are completely unconscious to and move towards manifesting the things that we physically want? Well, number one, I invite you to begin to decondition those subconscious programs, those stories in the back of your head that you don't even realize are there, those limiting beliefs in those stories. In order to start to break those down, I invite you to look at things like meditations, things like different subconscious reprogramming tools and those types of things, as well as, affirmations, daily affirmations, and then also just beginning to walk the walk. That's a really big one if you're wanting to manifest. You start to just live that life, embody that person, and the quicker you can convince yourself, the more wholeheartedly that you can convince yourself that you are that person, that you deserve that thing, and that this is something that is just easily and effortlessly magnetized to you, the faster you will magnetize those things that you want. Because affirmative thoughts are more powerful than subconscious thoughts because they're affirmative. You've made a decision and you made the shift within your energy to say, I want this thing. And so this thing really has very little to do other than create for you, or at least start. But here's the linchpin. Here's where people lose it. Here's where the thing is just bubbling under the surface, like this seed that's cracked open and it's there and the plant wants to poke through the soil so badly. It is the loss of faith. So you feel like I can't manifest like so-and-so, or even worse, maybe this stuff isn't real. And those types of conversations that you start to have with yourself, those are the ones that pull away the thing that you want that's just below the surface, and it really wants to peek through, but it just can't, right? So if I told you that without a doubt, no matter what, if you believe it, if you walk it, if you talk it, if you affirm it, if you meditate on it, if you do all of these sorts of things, you will have the thing that you want. Like, if I could give you complete certainty that the faith is the main thing that you need, would you do it? Would you have faith? If I could prove to you through science, if I could give you, if it was socially accepted, if everyone believed this to be truth, would you do it? Would you find the way to have the faith? I would say for most people, yes. Truly, what do we want? We want health, wealth, money, love. So if I told you that there is a tried and true formula, and all you have to do is have faith that you deserve it, and that it's real, and that it's coming, and that you don't need to know the how, it'll just come. If I told you that, would you do it? And the answer for most people is yes. Yes, they would. And so why do we half-ass manifest? Why do we in the middle of the road manifest? We say to ourselves, okay, well, I'm going to do the affirmations, and I'm going to write the journal entries, and I'm going to do the hypnosises and all of these sorts of things, but I'm not going to fully transfer. I'm not going to fully open my heart for this. I'm not going to fully believe, because it's in an effort to protect ourselves from the what if it doesn't work, right? So we don't push for that. We don't fully give ourselves over to the process. So what happens? The process does not fully give itself over to us. That's the reason that manifestation does or does not work, is because we're protecting ourselves from the chance that we'll get hurt, or that we'll be incorrect. I hear it all the time. I'm just realistic. I'm not necessarily, the glasses half full kind of person, because if I don't picture it going badly, then I won't be prepared for it if it does, or surprised and delighted when it doesn't. Right? So all of us, we decide not to. We don't fully pour ourselves into this process. We don't fully have faith, because what if we get hurt? And all the while, I understand why we do that as adults. I get why we don't want to get hurt again. The key word being there, again. We don't want to get hurt again, and we don't want to be in pain, and we don't want to get our hopes up. And I understand that. But what's the point of all the other stuff then? What's the point of the affirmation, the journaling, the deciding what you want, the vision board, the things that you want? What I'm telling you now, that if you don't fully give yourself over to this process, it will always be a half-ass process, because you are giving it half-ass. And I mean, I know that's hard to hear, but choose a side. Do you want to manifest your dream life? Well, you're going to have to pour your whole heart into it. Or if you just want to just live normally, normally with little quotation marks, if you want to live kind of just at the status quo, then live the status quo. But no more of this in between. Having a vision board while talking about how you're a realist. Or saying that you want money and affirming that you want money and pretending that you want money and wearing the right jacket and all of these sorts of things. But if someone said to you, well, go ahead and borrow $10,000 because your business is going to be very successful because you believe that, right? And then you go, well, but that's a lot of money. What if I fail? Well, then you never really truly believed your own story, did you? You never truly believed your own manifestation, did you? And so that's the key. That's what's missing here. And so I'll illustrate this with a story. So I have been surrendering. I've been surrendering to the process of manifestation of money since I've known this work. And I've been getting better and better and better at the process. And so when I came up to this business, I said, well, easily this is going to make lots of money because I'm a really good manifester. And so I put in a ton of salt and faith and all these things into my business. And I thought that I was really, really doing it. And I was really, really manifesting. And I was. There were small little manifestations for sure. But what was really interesting was the entire time that I've been working on this business, I had this debt, this looming debt that was kind of getting under my skin, under my husband's skin. And that debt was all centered around how expensive it is to go through cancer the natural way. So what do I mean by that? I did not go the typical route. I did go the typical route in the sense that I did go through chemotherapy, radiation, surgeries, and all those types of things. But I also, alongside that, decided to do the natural way. So I did both. And so that natural way, although what was amazingly gifted to me with a funding program that my cousin set up. I had a huge amount of outpouring of love and donations. So financially, we were definitely a lot more comfortable as a result of that. But that being said, it was even more than all of the donations that we received. And we received like $35,000 altogether. So you would have thought that would more than cover it, but you'd be surprised how expensive it is to do it naturally. And I wanted to do it all because this was not coming back. It was a one and done, and so because I believe so deeply in the natural side of the medical system. I believe that health and vitality is mind, body, spirit, and that all of those areas they need attention and love. Because I believe that, I poured a lot of money into that process. So anyway, so now you know the context of why we had this debt just kind of looming over us. And so I'm working on my business. My husband's working away, trying to pay off this debt, and he's chipping away at it. And of course, I'm adding financially in some ways, but my additions are a little less monetary in our relationship at that time. And so I was trying my best. He was trying his best, but we both kind of felt this pinch of this debt. All the while, I am working on my business, and I'm working on my money mindset and the way that I feel and how that's all working for me and all of those sorts of things. And I'm manifesting money. But yet, every single time I talked about money, I had this kind of pit in my stomach. Just, that debt. I wish it would go away. I didn't deserve to have to spend that much money, these sort of feelings. And so you see now with me explaining it to you, there's this conflict between this tug of war between the manifestation of money that wants to be there and that wants to attract towards me because I'm creating these beautiful courses and helping people, and I believe that it deserves to be paid for and those sorts of things. So all of these things are going through my mind. So that's one side of the tug of war. And then the other side of the tug of war is, oh my gosh, how are we going to financially pay for these things? How are we going to eliminate this debt? I feel like a burden, etc. And so this tug of war was constantly going on. And I kept kind of thinking like, I don't know, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe manifesting isn't something I can do anymore, and these little seeds of doubt started coming in. And then over time, I started feeling a little bit depleted, a little bit, what's the point? A little bit, I'm probably never going to make it successfully in my business and those types of things. And I started feeling like, I don't know, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe right? So you see how money would be very conflicted by this tug of war. And sorry, just gotta adjust my blanket. There you go. I was all wrapped up. So then money is sort of confused. It's like, well, like, what do I, she wants me and she loves me, but she hates me. So you see, it's confused. And so on the other side of this, we pay off our debt. All of a sudden one day I get a call and my husband says to me, we've done it. We paid off our debt. And let me tell you, that was a very momentous day. And I didn't think anything much of it at the time, other than that I was excited, that I was happy, and that I felt free and lifted from this drowning, heavy feeling. And what was really interesting is that afternoon I got a call from a client interested in taking a private course. And so we spoke about it and we decided on a monetary figure, and she paid it and we began to work. And the next day I got a call from my accountant saying, hey, there was a problem with your taxes and I forgot to file this one thing. You're actually getting reassessed for more money. And I thought, wow, it's amazing. This has been an amazing couple of days. Then I got another call, and my husband said, well, this vacation pay that they withheld from my other job, they're releasing it to me and we're getting some more money. And then I clued in, 3-4 days of just money. And then I clued in and I said, wait a minute, I understand what happened. I was in conflict with money. I wanted to manifest it. I had the vision boards, I had the visualizations, I had all the things, but I had this tug of war. And then it all started to fall into place for me. And now, to date, I've lost count of how many beautiful experiences where money has just popped into our lives, and different exciting moments where clients have decided that they're finally ready to work with me, or random deposits into our bank account that we didn't see coming. And now I'm seeing this flow, this beautiful, beautiful flow. And I'm realizing how grateful I am for the lessons that I learned about manifestation. And so I'm imparting those lessons onto you. That's the reason I tell you this story, is so that you can understand the things that you want in your life. If you are in conflict with them, if there is a tug of war within your mind and in your heart of the thing that you would really, really like, then truly you're going to have to allow that to come in, that through faith. You're going to have to let that faith come into your experience, that you deserve it, that it's going to be okay. I could have manifested so much quicker if I wasn't in conflict with my manifestation. If I would have shifted aside to say, I have faith that this debt is just part of it. And so I invite you to collapse time for yourself. Take my lessons, understand my story, and push that into your own life. Rather than waiting for the debt to be paid off for you to be able to start manifesting money, have the faith that the debt is just part of your story, and that it will easily and effortlessly move away as the money comes in. And that in itself will collapse time for you in your manifestation, in the thing that you want, whatever it is. It can be money, it can be love, it doesn't matter. But if you are consistently in a place if it's love that you want, and you're consistently in a place of loneliness, can you see that loneliness is a tug of war? I'm so lonely, I want somebody. Vision board, books, journaling, all those things. I'm so lonely, I want it. And so that desperation is an energy of lack. You don't have it, so you want it. That desperation that I had to get out of my debt is an energy of lack. You want so badly to move away from that debt because you don't have money. You want so badly to move away from loneliness because you don't have love, right? So let's move away from this desperation and move into a place of steadfast faith. So much faith that when these experiences start coming into your life, that they just feel like, well, of course. If you get to the point where when these manifestations manifest, you aren't even excited about them because you knew they were coming, that's your version of realistic, that is when you're going to start pulling these beautiful things into your life. When your version of realistic is everything that you've ever wanted, as opposed to you being a realist and looking at the bad things just in case the good things come. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope it has been illuminating. I know for myself, it was an extremely illuminating story and has been really impactful on my life and the way that I manifest now, because that was a big, big experience. So I wanted to share that with you today. So all my love to you. I hope that you're having a beautiful day, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for listening. If you found expansion with this last episode, then that means that others will too. And the best way to get the word out about the podcast is by leaving a review. I would be so grateful if you could leave me a review and let me know how you felt about the podcast. Included in the show notes will be everything that we talked about today, including all of my transformative programs. Change is just on the horizon, my friend.